Good morning and a happy Wednesday. Welcome to today's episode of Morning Wealth. We'll talk about three things. Saudis volunteer a 1 million cut, US Manufacturing PMI, and Electoral College votes counted by Congress. US stocks rose in a thin but volatile session as traders monitored the Georgia runoff elections and their impact on the incoming Biden administration. Money managers are closely monitoring the Georgia state runoff elections. If Democrats win both seats, it would be easier for the President-elect Joe Biden's administration to pass new legislation. Additional fiscal stimulus could be more likely if Democrats control Congress and the White House, and that could potentially give stocks another leg up, is what the investors are saying. But the prospect of tax increases and more regulation is also weighing on markets, is the caution that's being expressed. A day after the sharp sell-off, the investors didn't seem to be too worried though. The Dow was up 0.55%, aided by strong manufacturing data, which we will talk about. Tech-heavy Nasdaq did even better, rising about 0.95%. Liveliest of all was crude oil and anything related to it. After postponing a decision by a day, members of the OPEC cartel and the Russia-led partners agreed to a surprise output cut for the next 2 months. So the Saudis are taking one for the team. The kingdom volunteered to cut 1 million barrels a day for February and March, easily offsetting small increases granted to Russia and Kazakhstan as part of a deal reached by the OPEC Plus members. The agreement makes for a tighter market than traders had been expecting and helped WTI breach $50 a barrel for the first time since February of last year. A leading oil exploration and production ETF leaped about 6.4% on this news. In other markets, the US 10-year yields were up more than 3 basis points to around 0.95. Dollar fell across the board with the Aussie and Kiwi both up more than 1%. Gold advanced. Asian equity futures are in the green. America has entered the darkest days of the coronavirus pandemic, but factories just keep doing better. The Institute of Supply Management on Tuesday said that its index for manufacturing activity jumped to 60.7 in December from November's 57.5, hitting its highest level in over 2 years. This is a reflection of an atypical nature of the downturn, which hit usually recession-resistant services industries badly, but also spurred demand for a variety of manufactured goods, such as cars and washing machines. Manufacturers now have the spring to consider. If all goes well, the combination of the vaccine rollout and warmer weather will lead to dramatically fewer COVID-19 cases, given that a lot of people loaded up on goods during the pandemic, effectively bringing a lot of the demand forward. The easing of COVID-19's grip might not be an outright boon for the manufacturers, but at least some new spending should flow towards manufacturing, keeping growth in the sector going. Such a recovery would represent a break from the pattern seen in the previous 3 recessions, in which factories struggled to recover and manufacturing share of the economy shrank as a result. This time seems to be really different. We spoke about this yesterday as well in terms of how manufacturing is playing a much bigger role in most of the economies, including China, Europe, US, and evidence was there yesterday as well. Lastly, on Wednesday, the Electoral College will be counted by Congress. This is normally a procedural affair that gets very little attention, but this time, a dozen Republican senators have said that they will contest the votes in 6 swing states. The last time this happened was in 1887. In order for a state's vote to be officially recognized as an objection, there needs to be a written document signed by one member of the House and one member of the Senate. Then vote counting is suspended and both chambers will debate the vote and decide whether to sustain the objection, and for the state's vote to be dismissed, it needs to be sustained by both houses. This has never happened in the history of the Electoral College. Even if one state's vote is officially objected, preventing the 2020 election results from being certified, currencies and equities would definitely react and there would be a bit of volatility that we could expect. That's the update. Stay safe and healthy, everyone, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.